Hello, my name is Sarah Maxwell, and today I want to talk about the mindset to achieving your goals. My background is in neuroscience. I also, after I got that degree, I actually went and represented my country of Canada in beach volleyball. So I was a professional athlete for many years. And when I retired from that, I went on to get my neuro-linguistic programming certifications. And all of these things were surrounded by this curiosity about human behavior. So that's the way I look at the world. That's how I tackle things. And my experience with this health system is that 5 years ago, a really good physio friend was recommending this system. Look, I was really healthy already. I really didn't understand what it could do for me, but within 5 days, whoa, I knew. But you know what's funny? Even though I had this hope, this dream that something different was happening for me, about midway through that first month, I started to have like these bizarre symptoms that aren't normal, like detox symptoms that aren't that common. And I started to doubt. I started to wonder, maybe this isn't for me. And the mind started going. It doesn't matter how much background you have. We all have the story. We all have the mind. And I had great support at that time, letting me know that the things that I was seeing as negative and scary were actually indicators that, hey, keep moving forward. The way that I see any journey, but this one in particular with this health system, is it's like a tunnel. You head in there and it's like, look, the tunnel is going to get you to the other side. So there's an anticipation, an excitement about what's over there. But yet, when you're in the middle of the tunnel, it's pitch dark. You can't see the light from where you entered. You can't see the light from the exit. And it's just like you're in no man's land. And I can see that's what I was doing. It's like, am I going back to how I was before, or am I forging forward? And I really believe that having support can help move you through that challenge zone so that you can see the beautiful vista on the other side, which is your transformation or the changes that you're looking to make. So some of the important factors that I want to discuss are goals. Everybody talks about goals, but do you really know how to set them? So the two most important things are to actually set a goal and to make sure that you know why it matters to you. So when you set a goal, like a lot of people actually just head off on an endeavor and they actually don't know what they're aiming at. Like if you saw an archer with a bow and arrow pull back with no target in sight, you'd be afraid. Because what are they aiming at? You want to know that they're aiming at a target. The same goes for you. What's your target and why are you aiming at it? So the most important thing with a target is make sure that it's measurable, because it can't just be, well, it can be, because this happens a lot, but a lot of people make goals that are not very clear, and therefore they say things like, I just want to get healthier. But this is the important question. How will you know you're healthier? This is how you make it measurable. How will you know? So how will you know you're more fit? How will you know you're happier? So ask yourself that question. So if you say, I want to be more healthy. Okay, so when I sleep 7 hours through the night, I'll know I'm healthy. When I can run for 30 minutes, I'll know I'm healthy. These are just personal, measurable things that let you know that you've achieved the goal. This is so important in our day and age to make sure that it's clear and concise and that you can actually celebrate when you achieve the goal. And the other important factor is to date it and time it. So the reason why I want to do that is I want you to really go for it. Set the big goal. You're not really sure how you're going to achieve it, but yet set it. Because when you do, then you can chunk it back. Okay, so maybe my goal's massive. Maybe I want to lose 30 kilos. Maybe I want to lose 50 pounds. Depends what region you're in. But if you have a big goal like that, or maybe you want to run a marathon, how do we chunk that back? When you train for a marathon, you don't start with all those kilometers or all those miles. You don't. You start with like a 1 minute run. After I had my baby, that's what I did. I ran for 1 minute. That was it. The next day, I ran for 2 minutes. That's it. It's like work your way up, chunk it back, and then that's how you define your plan and your way forward. So the other thing is, like, timeline is really important, timing your goals, making sure they're measurable, but understanding that there's going to be challenges. And I'm talking about the obstacles and challenges that are going to come up on your way to your goal. So I want to really focus on the internal challenges. What are the things that are really going to get in the way that you just know yourself? This is what happens to you, because we all have patterns. We all know how we do things. You want to actually write those down. The reason is you want to have a plan. When the obstacle comes, we're not going if. The obstacle or the challenge is coming. So when it does, this is what I do. So this is called an if-then strategy. So if I feel like I'm not getting anywhere, because that's an internal feeling, hey, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm not getting my goals. If I feel this, then I'll go into the Facebook group and look for inspiring stories. So it's just a little plan, like if this happens, then this. Or if I'm unsure about how I'll tackle a social function, then I'll have a shake before I go. These are like little plans to get around some obstacles, common obstacles that you know occur for you. Because here's what I know for sure. When you endeavor something for the first time, like you really want to make a transformation or you want to grow or change in an area, when you first start, you're all excited because all you have is the vision. It's not hard yet. You haven't started. So it's like, yay, you're so excited, and you head off. Look, it can be within 1 or 2 days when all of a sudden, all that excitement, reality. It's sort of like this deception period. Like, are you kidding me right now? Why did I think I could do this? Who the heck convinced me? You know, like our mind starts going nuts and we literally go from Mr. Excited, Mrs. Excitement to the negatron. Super negative, complaining. And by the way, it doesn't have to be external, it could be inside. So all of those, that self-doubt and all that deception starts to roll in. But here's the thing, that's natural. You have to move through that to get to transformation. So no longer can we hope to avoid that and have it be all bliss, because it's not. It's how we grow. It's like when a snake sheds its skin, it actually sheds the skin. Like there's a feeling to that. So that's you as well. And once you move from transformation, then it starts to become your identity. So it's no longer always hard, but it just becomes the habits and who you really are. And just so you know, like I've moved through this growth curve pretty quickly, but we have a healthy mind and body program that you can engage in 10 minutes a day. That's it. But this becomes the building blocks of up here, because yes, we're putting health products in our body, but what are we doing with our mind? Is our mind keeping up with who our body is becoming? That's a big statement. So you really want to keep up with who you're becoming. And the way you do this is the Healthy Mind and Body program. It is so, like, it's the best deal ever. Like, I'm just going to speak to Australia for a sec here. It's $49 Australian for 10 minutes a day for 60 days. That's ridiculous. It's so cheap. And Isagenix does even more than that. Upon completion, they actually give you a $49.50 product coupon for completing. So basically, it's not only free, you make 50 cents, but you gain, but they really want you to engage and complete. So that's the commitment. Healthy Mind and Body program. You can easily access it through your back end. It's very simple and quick. You can do it in less than 3 minutes. That's it. That's all it takes to register. And then every single day you get an email notification. You head in, do your 10 minutes, 10 minutes, you watch something, you write your answers, and that's your commitment to up here. Huge commitment. So the last thing I want to address is sustaining your results, because if I hear one more time, do I have to stay on these products for my whole life? Potentially I said the same thing to my friend Carmen when she first told me about the products. And this is the thing about that mindset. My mindset was quick fix. This is just something that's coming in my life and leaving my life. But yet, who of us believes that we only need to eat vegetables for a month in order to be healthy for the rest of our life? Like, we don't think like that. But here's the thing. Isagenix is nutrient-packed food. So do you have to take it your whole life? No. Do you have to eat vegetables all the time? No. Are vegetables good for you? Yes. Is Isagenix good for you? Yes. Are you at a deficit because you had your veggies for a month and now you stopped? No. Are you better for it? Yes. Should you keep going? Yes. So basically the intensive is one thing, but being able to sustain and develop a healthy lifestyle is something that's developed over 90 days, over years. So 5 years in, it's really about the long game. And with your health, are you playing the short game? Or are you playing the long game? And all the results, the true results, like the inner health, the kind of health that most people really want, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's in the long game. So I've shared a lot of information here, like lots of different things. We have some events that I think are just top notch. It's called University in Action, for example. I love this one because it's really about building yourself from the inside out and really building up here. And a podcast that I love, so the guy that runs that is a Canadian guy named David Wood, and he has a brilliant podcast. So this is where you can see if he really vibes with you. His podcast is called The Kickass Life. And if you look up, you Google The Kickass Life, David Wood, you can find this podcast and you can listen to interviews and really find out, does this guy resonate with you? And he can show up on your shores and you can participate in an interactive event. I mean, seriously, game-changing, life-changing. I also wanted to recommend a couple books, if you kind of want to really immerse yourself. The 4 Agreements, Don Miguel Ruiz, fantastic. The Power of Now, a little bit more intense, still awesome, by Eckhart Tolle. And The Peaceful Warrior, it's kind of a different one, but for me, this was the first book that I read that really got me to elevate who I was being in the world. And The Peaceful Warrior by Dan Millman, I highly recommend that. I do have some other podcasts, but I'm getting a bit long here in my talk, and I really wanted to talk about this mindset behind achieving your goals. So I hope you have some clarity around setting your goal, knowing why it's important, making sure it's measurable, making sure you have a timeline so that you can chunk it back, have a plan for when those obstacles come up, and really understand that sustaining your results is about continuing to be dynamic in the setting of goals. So if you've lost the weight, maybe it's time to think about performance. And then maybe it's time to think about flexibility. And then maybe it's time to think about cardio. There's always a way that you can reinvigorate your health, because look, to be honest, maintenance is a myth. You're never actually arrive somewhere. It's a journey. So you're always either moving toward or away from your health goals. So moving toward means constantly and consistently setting new benchmarks for yourself and rising to the occasion. All right, over and out, everyone. See ya.